Hey guys, Shaylin Marie here, and I have seen several simmers accept one of the SimGuru's challenges, which is to build a tiny house with no move objects, 12,000 simoleons, and it must be a house for two parents and a child, 32 tiles. I am so intrigued by this. I'm not a tiny home builder. I've only attempted it less than a handful of times, but for some reason, I'm intrigued by this. So here we go. We're gonna do it.
You hear me? We're gonna do it.
We're gonna do it. We are going to build a 32 tile house for 3 Sims, 12,000 simoleons, no move objects, no cheat codes. All right, I'm ready. Let's get started. All right, so this is the Neal family. This is Kira, Jacob, and Nathaniel Neal, and they are going to move into Newcrest and build a home. So here we go. I have put $12,000 into their account. Here this lovely family is just waiting to be brought in. And we are going to start designing a house for them.
Okay, so as it turns out, I have a really hard time concentrating on building such a rule-bound build and talking at the same time. So basically, I don't end up talking because I am so focused on what I'm doing. Also, you're going to see a bunch of floor plans here that don't actually make it into the final build because I changed my mind so many times. I also tried a myriad of ways to make this all work. I tried building the walls first and then putting the furniture in. In a little bit, you're going to see me try a different method of building. I end up coming up with a final build solution that really works for me and I'm really into and actually want to play with, but it takes me a while to get there. So now you can see that I'm trying to place the furniture first and then build the walls around it and then count some tiles and see exactly what I need in order to make everything work, trying to keep it under 32 because that was the rule. But this is just difficult, guys. It's so tough. I've never built such a tiny house except for maybe attempting like a studio style apartment for a single sim. That's the only thing that I can liken it to. So I do try the kitchen here, kind of this idea of like a galley kitchen, because that's how most people, when they build apartments and they build small apartments, that's what they do. They do a galley kitchen. So I thought maybe that could work. And it would be sort of a nice family area for the Sims to gather in and perhaps watch TV. But inevitably, I just wasn't really super happy, especially because I was basically just building a square. And so I end up moving the kitchen to the side here, and I end up sticking with that. So the kitchen does stay there, although I do upgrade the appliances and the countertops once I realize that I do have enough money for what I want to do. Originally, I ended up putting the parents' bed over here, and then I changed my mind and I do some other things. So you'll see me move the bedroom furniture around a bunch because I really just didn't know what to do. I can't tell you how out of my element I absolutely was during this challenge, which is why it's a challenge and why I wanted to do it in the first place. So I am really glad that I did this. I'm really excited with the final build. And like I said, I actually want to play with what I created. And this makes me so much more excited for Tiny Living. I was already really excited because it's not the way that I actually play the game. I said this at the beginning of the video, I am not a tiny home builder. It's not really what I gravitate towards. I tend to do pretty spacious builds most of the time, or really like family focused homes. And trying to tackle this really did build a lot of excitement for me for the new pack coming out, which, I'm sure was definitely in the back of their minds when they created this challenge. But it worked. It worked. I'm super excited for the new pack coming out. I can't wait to actually have the ability to have the game count my tiles for me, because I was constantly like multiplying square numbers in my head trying to figure out how many tiles I had used if I had gone over the limit that I was given. I love those doors. I use those doors whenever I can. I think they're super cute. I think they're really realistic. I love the little shade on the inside. I think they're really cool. I also really liked the warm wood tones, and so I try to stick with those because I do think that it just warms up the entire build. I can't believe I did this whole thing without lights on the inside. That's crazy. I never do that. Lights are usually one of the first things that I place. I think I was so focused on not running out of money that I ended up just kind of like putting everything in and then realizing like, oh no, they can't see in here. I was really excited that I had enough money left over to actually give some colors to the paint on the inside and to actually provide some curtains and to be able to do like a really cute, fun, modern looking backsplash. Because I think that adds, some visual interest to it, and it seems kind of realistic that if you did have a small house like that, you would try to create a lot of visual interest going on. Roofing was kind of tricky because the shape was sort of weird, but I ended up kind of figuring it out. Nothing crazy fancy because it's not a crazy fancy house, and it's so small that there's really just not a ton of options. I do put a little stair out front. I lifted it because I do think that again adds some visual interest to it. I also wanted to provide some landscaping that would be lower in terms of levels than the home itself. So I do use some landscaping items over here. I did spend some of the budget there, but I also think that if I had blown all my money in the home and not provided any landscaping, I wouldn't have been super thrilled with that. This way I could kind of tell myself a story that maybe this is a family who is really interested in gardening and sustainability. So I sort of went with that and provided them with some of the gardening skill building items and sort of keep everything kind of nature focused with the design. So again, overall, I'm so excited that I did this. What a cool challenge. I would definitely encourage you guys to try this out if you haven't yourself, because it was a lot of fun. So that's my final house. I hope you guys like it. Thank you so much for watching.
As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.